we just want to let our listeners know that the statements that are being made are not those of this radio station, but of those that are participating and not of Cat in the Hat. But let's get back to this. What can we do? Because the issues that you've raised they're so deep, because I'm looking at all these 3 and 4 pages of stuff. We'll never cover it because we only have a few more minutes. But the point is this: what do we do? What do we suggest? And how do we organize to make this thing not go away, but get better? Arm people with information.
This is a lot bigger than the state of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. The laws here, no disrespect, is a joke. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. When so many women, and like Jill and I, who were victims of domestic violence from police officers, where we go, they know the shelters, they know the DAs, they know the judges, they know exactly who to talk to. They have that power. We don't. So this has to go as far as Washington. This can't just be in the state of Pennsylvania, because all over this great country of ours, we still have this problem. And it's a problem that's been going on a lot longer than people care to realize.
Yes.
So it has to go as far as Washington. I wrote to U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor. I reached out to the Holden. I reached out to him. I even reached out to our president. This is a lot more serious, as I said, that people really care to realize that domestic violence from police officers, from your lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends, because men are victims also, has gotten out of control. Even our children. So many young children are being killed. What is it going to take? How many more lives?
Well, I think that speaking out, adding voices, a lot has been pushed under the rug. Silence has been as big of a culprit as sometimes the abuser, because you're leaving the victims lost in their voices are lost. So I think the more and more people that speak out about it, and specifically when you're talking about police officers, your voice has to become louder, because they already feel empowered by the system. So somebody's got to be willing to stand up and increase their voices, and it does come at a price. You have to admit that it comes anytime you breaking out of that cocoon of what has been the norm. Is hardship, is a price. But there's also liberation, and there's hope for those who's fallen behind you, because you've already suffered, and myself also I've already suffered. So you're not doing it for your suffering anymore. You're doing it for those coming behind you, and somebody's got to be willing to fight.
And we also have to add that Mr. Williams did ask a representative of the Fraternal Order of Police to come. We were not just presenting one side of the story, and from my understanding with him, there was no response. So for the listeners that think we're just spinning one side, we're not.
We have an ongoing lawsuit, and it's been well documented, especially in the newspapers.
I know, but that's not what I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the fact that a lot of people feel that when there's certain topics, we have to do both sides, and so we did attempt to do that.
Oh, so you did attempt to reach.
I'm going back what Mr. Williams said, because he's not here this morning, unfortunately, but I just want the audience to know that we were attempting to have both sides of the story.
Victims. And domestic violence doesn't care what color skin you are, what language you speak. It's affecting everybody.
It does not discriminate.
Amen. It sure doesn't. I have to emphasize about Governor Patterson, which breaks my heart.
In New York, he is a New York governor.
This awareness, it has to wake up our state. This awareness has to wake up all states in this great country of ours. We have to wake up. Our lawmakers have to wake up. They must wake up, or many more lives are going to go.
Now, I'm not speaking about every police officer out there. There are good ones, but people need to know if their abuser is the police. The police code of silence dictates that no matter what, cops protect and defend other cops.
Yes.
As a matter of honor, they are to lie and cover up for other officers and present a united front under any threat of an investigation.
Okay, we have to take point with that, because I'm not sure that every police officer...
I just said it wasn't every.
Right.
But as a victim of abuse, me and Rosa, from a police officer, our situation is very different than that of other victims. Being, we were afraid to call the police. He is the police. Go to a shelter. He knows where the shelters are.
Exactly.
Obtain a protection from abuse order. It's only as good as the person you get the order is afraid of it. I had a protection from abuse order when he shot me and killed himself. It laid next to me.
And actually what happens, as you stated on earlier, that's one of the most dangerous times is after the protective order. But the other side of that is that we have to be proactive, and the reason why I'm addressing the teenagers is because there has to be a change in the value system that people have to be in a relationship.
Well, I went through Women in Transition. I went through for a year. We created a quilt to move forward for other victims and survivors of domestic violence. I'm sure everyone here heard of G-Bend. Well, now our quilt is hanging in Women in Transition. There are many of my group sisters that we feel free. Why I'm here is to help other survivors and victims. And Jill feels the same way. We kept the silence for many years. We covered up and covered up. We can't cover up anymore because there are more women and children, because the police officers do turn on their children also, that are dying.
Not to mention the children witness it too.
Exactly.
And it takes it one step. It confuses them. Their fathers are police officers who are breaking the law. If they see their fathers abusing their mothers and they're supposed to uphold the law, it sends a mixed signal.
It also sends a signal when the woman stays in abuse that the abuse is okay, which is what she was saying. If you see it, you think that that's normal. And it's important, particularly for the younger people, to understand that no one has a right to hit you.
Exactly.
And no one has a right to verbally abuse you, and that you have the right to leave.